Hello everyone, my name is Jasmine Cruz and in this presentation we'll be exploring how energy, biomolecules, and cellular structure and function are deeply connected in supporting life processes. Cells are the smallest units of life, but they rely on big systems like energy conversion and molecule building to keep us alive. We'll break it down step by step, and I'll also share a real-world example to show why this really matters in the science of medicine. To start, let's talk about energy. Every cell in your body needs energy to survive and do its job. That energy comes from a molecule called ATP, which stands for adenosine triphosphate. Think of ATP like a fully charged battery when the cell needs to power something, like moving a protein or sending a nerve signal. It spins that ATP. But how do we get ATP? It's made through cellular respiration, which mostly happens in an organelle called the mitochondrion, often called the powerhouse of the cell. During aerobic respiration, glucose from the food we eat combines with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water, and a large amount of ATP. The chemical equation looks like this on the screen. This is how our cells get the energy they need. Sometimes, if oxygen isn't available, like when you're sprinting hard, cells can switch to anaerobic respiration, which makes less ATP and also creates lactic acid, which can cause muscle soreness. So, in summary, energy in cells is mostly produced in the mitochondria, stored in the ATP, and used to power almost every function the cell needs to perform. Now let's talk about how energy and biomolecules work together inside the cell. Biomolecules include carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. Each play a different role in the life of the cell, but they all rely on energy. Take membrane transports, for example. Cells must move things like ions, water, or nutrients in and out. Passive transport doesn't require energy, but active transport does. ATP is needed to move molecules against the concentration gradient, like pushing a ball uphill. Another example is enzyme activity. Enzymes are proteins that help chemical reactions happen faster. Many enzymes need ATP to function correctly. Without energy enough Without enough energy, those reactions slow down or stop and the cell can't do its job. One of the most important processes in the cell is the flow of information. How we go from DNA to RNA to protein. This is called gene expressions and it's intensive. Energy intensive. Transcription and translation both require ATP to build the proteins that make up everything from your muscles to your hormones. So in the big picture, energy and biomolecules work in hand. The cells use the energy to build molecules and those molecules help produce and use energy in return. It's all a cycle that keeps the cell alive and functioning properly. Let's look at a real world example mitochondrial disease. This is a group of disorders caused by mutations in the mitochondria DNA. Since mitochondria are responsible for producing ATP, someone with this condition can't make enough energy for their cells. One specific type is called mitochondria myopathy. People with this disease often feel weak, have trouble with muscles coordination, or tire easily. That's because their cells don't have enough energy to function properly. It's like trying to run a phone on 1% battery. It just doesn't work well. Doctors and researchers are exploring treatments like gene therapy and enzyme replacements to help these patients, and they can do that because they understand how energy biomolecules work in the cell. Another example is how cancer treatments often rapidly often target rapidly dividing cells. These cells need a lot of energy, so some treatments block their ability to make ATP, slowing or stopping their growth. These examples show that understanding how cells use energy and molecules isn't just for biology class, it can save lives. To sum it all up, cells get energy from glucose through cellular respiration, producing ATP in the cells in the mitochondria. This energy powers the use of biomolecules like proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Together, they allow the cell to transport materials, carry out chemical reactions, and express genes. And understanding the system has real world importance from treating diseases to developing new medical technologies. The cell is small, but its inner workings are powerful and beautifully connected. Thank you for listening.